The Absolute Universe is DC's boldest move yet. No event book, no checklist, just 6 titles happening all at once. I've read every single issue. It's just 22 issues. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern. This is your full breakdown of what's going on, and this might be DC's best modern starting point. So what is the Absolute Universe? So I'm not gonna bore you with all the all-in stuff, but essentially each title is self-contained. You can just start picking up Batman, and there's nothing before this that you need to know about Absolute Batman. You're getting a whole new origin story and a whole new universe. If you want that for any of these characters that I've mentioned, it's time to dive in. What you need to know, and what I've gathered from Scott Snyder snippets on Twitter, is that they're all happening simultaneously. That's not mentioned anywhere here. You don't hear about any of the other heroes in any of these titles. But these things are happening concurrently. And another thing Scott Snyder confirmed is that these will converge at some point. Obviously, hinting at a Justice League. And the way things are going, I would assume maybe late 2025, we'll see something with all these characters. But for now, it's all about the slow build. We're learning about each character, what their specific worlds in their specific cities look like, how they react, who are their friends, what's their peer group, who are their enemies, all that stuff. Compared to past reboots, this isn't about any sort of continuity cleanup or anything or legacy drama. This is just a clean slate. If you like the Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate Spider-Man, where it's just clean slate, you want to give these super powered authors and writers and artists just a clean slate, but an awesome character, this is what you're looking at. Big creators with big visions, reimagining these iconic characters from the ground up. And so far, for me at least, it's really working. So this isn't going to be a deep dive into each and every one of these characters. I already have an Absolute Batman video, so if you want to check that out, I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend the book. I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like, and you can decide for yourself whether it's something you want to pick up. And it's going to be a speed run. So let's start with Absolute Batman. So this is the Jim Lee cover. Love this cover. This is the latest issue. Absolute Batman is the one that kicked off the Absolute Universe. So it's got 7 issues out. The Holy Trinity here have got the most issues out. They had a whole story arc already completed. And then there was a second wave that happened that have only an issue out. Again, you have to come into these with a clean slate. Forget about what you know about him. They're going to tell you what you need to know. The first issue of each of these have been very good at telling you this is what this book's about. So he's very grounded, very brutal. He's not an orphan. He is not rich. Alfred is a total badass. And issue 7 kicked off a whole new series story with Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze looks creepy as hell. And again, the thing to keep in mind with, at least with the Trinity, they're all very young. So I think he's like 22, 24. So keep that in mind. Next, we got Absolute Superman foil Jim Lee. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull one out. Look at that guy. This is issue 6. And this is with the legendary Jason Aaron writing it. So here are some things why you should check this one out. Partially raised on Krypton. His cape is sentient. Earth's sun doesn't power him. And spoiler alert, he's being hunted by Brainiac, who's taking orders from Ra's al Ghul. So already that power dynamic is a little different, right? Lois is working for some bad guys. There's no Darkseid, but we've seen Omega Men. We don't really know their deal. And this latest issue has him back in Smallville visiting the Kents. And we don't really know how long he was with the Kents. It's all intriguing. I didn't really spoil anything big. If any of that stuff intrigues you, pick it up. Next, we've got Wonder Woman Jim Lee cover art. And FYI, that's Gabriel Delo's signature. What? MegaCon, come visit me next time MegaCon is up. Let me know if you're in town. So for Wonder Woman, we have Kelly Thompson writing this one. And I have loved her origin story. This might be my favorite origin story of the group so far. At least of the Trinity. So here's what intrigues me about it. Still an Amazonian, and raised by the sorceress Circe in hell. She uses blood magic, so many mythical weapons. She's got like 3 lassos, dope ass sword. She is badass as hell, but the soul of the character is still there. But it's metal and fast paced and badass as hell. So the latest issue, issue 6, kicks off a new story arc where she's been captured by Hades. And the art by Deulis, man, I'm not familiar with him, and I'll do some close-ups of it, but like, that was really impressive. I really liked it. I wonder if it was just like a guest appearance or what, but I thought it was really cool. So let's take a time out there after covering the Trinity books and talk about where should you start reading. So if you really want to get an understanding of the universe. Each one of those books alone could do it. If you kind of just are into Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you'll get a taste of it and understand what they're doing with each character in terms of just really starting from the ground up. However, if you don't want to read a bunch of back issues and want to just start right now, you're going to want to start with this next wave. But I definitely highly recommend picking up those other books. It's only 22 issues in total for the Absolute Universe right now, so it is, it's not an insignificant amount, but it's doable. So the next wave started with Flash, and this is a young kid, Wally West, who's probably like 14 years old or something, and he's an army brat on base with his dad. This one is only, as of right now, 1 issue in, but by the time this video releases, 2 issues out. So why do you want to pick this up? Jeff Lemire is writing it. So it's only been 1 issue, but already the pacing and everything was just so beautiful. It actually made me want to go back and read the Jeff Johns omnibus that I DNF'd, and now I'm rereading that omnibus volume 2 because it just got me so hyped for the character. And Jeff Lemire, how often does he miss, man? So I recommend it. Then we got Green Lantern, and this one we've got veteran Al Ewing writing the book, and this one's got a whole cast of characters already in it. So we've got Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Joe Mullane. Mullane, is that how you pronounce it? And they're apparently a group of core friends, and there's a mention of Guy Gardner, though we haven't seen him, so I think it's all of them. Something major happens, some people get powers, some don't. From what we saw, we only saw one of them get powers, and from you can gather from the cover art that Joe is the one who gets it. And I don't know if the others will also eventually get some kind of Green Lantern powers. I didn't see anything in the book that mentioned any ring or anything like that, so I wonder how the powers will work in this Absolute Universe. But I'm really interested to see. Also, something happened with Hal Jordan that you're going to want to check out. But in all transparency, to me, this one was the weakest of the group in terms of the first issue. That's just my opinion. Not that it's weak, but it is the weakest in my opinion. But it's not always fair to do that in a pilot. I don't like to give out judgments on a pilot episode, nor should you for a first issue, because you're just trying to set up the universe. So I'm going to give them a little leeway there. Then last, but certainly not least, we've got Absolute Martian Manhunter. This is from Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. They crushed it for issue number 1. This was done so well. This is a lot of people's favorite number 1 issue out of the whole group. I think it's hard for me to choose just one. I think they all crushed it except for one. But this one, you can't go wrong with picking this one as your favorite. Hands down, the most visually appealing and stylistic of the whole group. Javier Rodriguez just took it to another level. And then you got Dennis Camp writing on it, who's been on a tear recently. A lot of comic books can be more story-led than art-led, or art-led over story-led. This one I feel like is a beautiful combination of both. The mechanism in which they use the colors is just, I've never seen before. It's truly a piece of art. I highly, highly recommend. There's only been 1 issue out, so you have time to pick it up and start pulling it. So I highly recommend Absolute Martian Manhunter. I'm not gonna spoil anything because there's just, because I don't wanna. So that's it. That's all there is. The second wave has just 1 issue out, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, 1 issue, except for Flash, which will have 2 issues by now. The others have completed story arcs, so they're 6, 7 issues in. We've seen a whole host of villains, from the rogues on Gotham, but whether they're actually rogues there or not. We've seen a few in Superman, in Flash. It's absolutely bonkers. And the beautiful thing is that you don't have to know anything about these characters and just pick it up and just absorb and enjoy. That's all you got to do. But the added bonus is that if you do know these characters well, just knowing the different things that they're tweaking about certain characters in these lives or in the universe is just completely intriguing and has me totally hooked. And just all the characters being so young, they're gonna all grow together, I'm sure, in the Justice League or whatever they're gonna call it, the Absolute Justice League. Of course they're gonna keep that brand, right? So I highly recommend picking them all up and then deciding for yourself. I think they all have their redeeming qualities, and some are just superb. If you're a big fan of Jason Aaron, Al Ewing, Scott Snyder, you're Dennis Camp, you gotta give it a shot, right? But if you're just into your characters, if you're just a big Flash fan or a Green Lantern fan or Wonder Woman fan, you can just pick it up on their own and just enjoy it as is. So that's the Absolute Universe, guys. Solid arcs. There's been no crossovers yet, no intermingling, but I wanna know which one surprised you most, which has been your pick of the lot, and which one's been kind of your dud. At this point, I've already said my piece. I don't think Green Lantern has kept up with the others, but it's been only one issue. That's kind of not fair. But to me, Scott Snyder, Jason Aaron, Dennis Camp are all crushing it, while Wonder Woman's origin story was the dopest change. They all have their redeeming qualities, like I've said. So if you want to keep up with the Absolute Universe, but you don't want to read all these titles, I will keep you updated. This was just a hint, my thoughts on the Absolute Universe without spoilers, but like I said, I've already got a Batman video up. I will soon be dropping a Superman and a Wonder Woman video since their story arcs have completed and they're on to new things. So if you want to keep up with the Absolute Universe, then hit that subscribe button because I will be providing details on all of it. This was a spoiler-free version. I will then do a deeper dive into Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman is already out, and I'll continue updating that Batman as story arcs conclude. And I will do the same for Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Green Lantern. I am all in for the Absolute Universe, including any additional Absolute characters that they drop. All right, guys, thanks so much. I will see you next time. 2 videos a week.